Hi, my name's Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Today I want to talk about my SSA shipment. So I did a video on SSA the other day showing their warehouse and comparing it. This is my latest shipment that's just come in. So this shipment was ordered in April. We're now almost in September. So it came in via sea. So I want to talk a bit about this. So let's just backtrack to a video which you may not have seen, where a container goes back to China because there was $200 worth of slingshots in there. So it cost me $50,000. In all my years importing, I really have not had a problem. All right. This is my next shipment in after the container shipment, same company. And the problem with this, we'll get to the problems, but the problem when this came in was SSA filled out the paperwork with a blue pen and a black pen. So they used two pens. So when it came into customs, the customs broker said, I can't process this because there's two types of pen used. And same custom broker as the one going back to China, right? So I'm like, and he goes, and now from today you're going to incur a storage fee. And I'm like, where does it say in the act that it has to be in two color pens? And I'm feeling a bit of pressure, but I'm like, you've had this shipment in the sea since April this year. So we're talking 4 months. It gets into Adelaide. Normally before it gets into Adelaide, it's all cleared, customs, maybe 2 weeks before it gets here. This shipment, it gets to Adelaide and you're like, oh, hang on, the paperwork's got a blue and black pen. Now, before I always say to all the freight companies who I use, I say make sure you've got all the paperwork and it's all correct before you import it, because I don't want problems when it gets into Australia, okay? So I said, where does it say in the act it can't be blue and black pen? So he sends me through a bit of the act, right? Now, my history, if you haven't heard it before, I used to work in government. I used to write legislation and stuff like that, right? So I used to write policies and legislation for government, right? That was one of the things I did. So I know they're never going to write legislation to say it's going to be blue and black pen. No one, that would never get through Parliament, right? Anyway, so what the legislation says, I could pull it up on the screen, but what it says, you can't scribble over it and cross it out and basically then rewrite into it, because then you could have fraud, right? So that's why that's in there. Well, this clearly wasn't the case. One guy's just signed it with blue pen and it's not a bloody will. Even when I talk about wills, my dad's will was in blue and black pen. It's meant to be the same color pen in a will, right? So anyway, so it's all well and good to have rules, but then, and even this is, even when customs broker enter this stuff, it's not like customs go, let's see the color pen you use. It's all done on an electronic bloody system, a computer system where you punch in how much comes in and how much duty you've got to pay. So you're just checking it off because you've been anal. And yeah, anyway, so 2 shipments in, 2 problems, right? So then he's like, well, we can't process it because it hasn't got blue pen. And I'm like, and we've got more problems. That's going to be on the next video, right? So I'm like, well, maybe I'll just get another guy to do it, right? The customs thing. So I get another agency to process to do the customs clearance for me for this shipment, right? So they did it, and I got 2 days. It was 3 days in storage, so an extra $300 fee for storing these 2 pallets. $300 for 3 days. Okay. So let's just take a step back at this shipment. So there's all individual boxes in here. Right, so when SSA did this, they said, here's all the dimensions of each of the boxes and here's the weight of them. Here, right? So I then forward this through to a couple of freight companies. I go, how much to import this via sea and via air? So the company, main freight, goes $2,000 by sea to get this in, $5,000 by air. All right, so I go, well, $2,000's all right. We'll get this in by a sea, and it will be in by the 30th of May. We're all now almost into September, so it's 60 days to get it from Belgium to Australia, leaving in April, gets here in May. We're now almost September. So that was the quote, because I looked before I did this video, because I'm like, well, what did they charge me for this shipment? So they charged me for the shipment $3,000 to ship it to Australia. Quoted me $2,000, but it's not really like that, because they didn't do the customs clearance, which was quoted for in the original price of $2,000. So the other agency did that. The customs fees for processing was around $500, I'm guessing. So all up, this shipment costs me to ship into Australia $3,000 plus $500 plus $300 storage, which comes to a magical number of $4,000 for 2 pallets. At an original quote of $2,000, which means I'm not going to make any money on this shipment. Okay. Now, when I import, I might sound a bit clueless. Okay. So I think there's 2 orders on this pallet. I haven't unpacked it yet, because this is what it comes like. Right? It comes like this, and I ordered in April. And SSA is saying to me, well, you're not ordering as much as you used to. Well, that's because I ordered this in April, and it's now September, and it's not even here, so I'm not turning this stuff over. Before, from SSA, I used to get really good freight rates from them in using whoever they used. It'd fly in, it'd be here in 7 days, and it was good. The freight was affordable, and then the freight went through the roof, and then I had to organise my own freight companies, and it was just a pain in the ass. Right? So, okay, so why is this almost $4,000 and the quote was $2,000? And I'm going to let you in on the little secret for this and where I get ripped off. Okay. And the reason I'm going to do this, and the reason I do this, is to give some information about when we ship stuff out. So each one of these boxes is a set weight and a set dimension, so it comes to a set cubic weight. But when you put it on the pallet and box it up like this, there's all holes here. Like here, there's a hole. The pallet size is actually bigger than the dimensional size of this, and the height is up here, but there's all this space here. So when they work out the space required for this pallet, they go there to the ground. So the pallet, I'm paying for the postage of the pallet, and it's the size of the pallet left and right. So I'm actually paying for this whole cubic space, and there's about a third of it empty, right? Now the other problem with pallets, as soon as you put it on a pallet, you then pay a handling fee for the pallets. And you're probably saying, well, the freight company should do this. And I agree. I'm not happy, and I'm not using this freight company again. I've used them for 10 years, right? And I'm going to say it's because someone's, the guy who used to handle my accounts gone up to a higher level, and now I've got a new person who is less customer service focused. So my account now goes to another freight company. So this here could be 2 orders, and once I open it up we'll see. And I'm going to say I'm behind, so I'm very, very behind. I've got 87 orders online, so I'm 3 days behind or 4 days behind with my orders. The order I'm doing on my desk right now is from Friday. Today is Wednesday, and some orders would have been processed today from today, but this is the one I'm doing because some people just do the quick ones to get those out. Right. But of all the stock that's come in, I'm about a week behind with the stock that's come in, putting it online, pricing it, putting it online, and packing it away. All right. So this stuff I will just put in there, and hopefully the kids will do it this weekend. Right. But then I've got to price it up because the freight would have cost me. Okay. So what did the freight cost me? So $4,000. I think there is a total of $25,000 worth of stock in these 2 pallets. $25,000. and I paid $4,000 worth of freight, so towards 20% freight, 17% freight. I normally allow 10% freight. So I work on a figure where I want to get down to 10%. Now, on my $4,000 freight for these 2 pallets, to get a container, a 20-foot container from Belgium, costs about $4,000. I just paid $4,000 for 2 pallets. This is the problem I have with shipping. I ask everyone for quotes, and I'm like, well, what's the quote? And then it comes in, and it's like, well, the quotes don't match up. And because it's 4 months after the time I ordered it, it's like, anyway, that's where I'm up to. So I'm just doing a video to tell you about how stuff works, because I have the same stuff when I ship stuff out of my store. So when I palletize stuff, put it on a pallet because it's big and bulk and heavy, sometimes the cost of the freight is far more to put it on a pallet than shipping it individually. So it's a bit of a hard thing to work out what's going to be the most cost efficient way of shipping. Anyway, that's the SSA shipment. It's so little, I can't believe there's $25,000 worth of stock there. But we'll open up and sort of have a look, see what's in there. But anyway, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Thanks for watching.